Hello everyone, my name is Christian. Welcome back to my hobby blog. Today we are talking about episode 6 of House of the Dragon season 2. I just finished it. It is about 10:20, 10:15 or so. Sunday night, so I will be releasing this in the morning. So there is a bit of a delay between the end of the episode and when I'm actually releasing it, or recording and then releasing. But this episode is just as awesome as the other ones. I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed seeing King Viserys again and seeing his acting on screen. I think he was one of the best performances in both series, House of the Dragon and Game of Thrones. I absolutely loved his performance in this episode, talking with Daemon and Harrenhal and the various kind of railroad visions that Daemon was having. And he was intimidating Sir Strong quite a bit, and that was really fun to watch, is sort of seeing that Targaryen madness kind of shine through. So that was a really great kind of beginner scene of this episode. And I really enjoyed kind of the back and forth between the Aaron princess or queen with I think her name is Rhaena Targaryen, the daughter, and she's finding out now she's going to Essos with her siblings. So I don't know what's going to happen with that. I assume they're going to be stopped or killed before they get there. So I'm curious how that storyline will go. I was really blown away by kind of the slow build as we see the small folks slowly getting angry with everyone, because we see Mysaria, she has been planting rumors and kind of sort of just encouraging everyone to she's sort of stoking a lot of anger with the Targaryen royalty, because she has various people saying, oh, they're having these great banquets, they're eating lamb, and they're eating, all these great foods, and we have to eat, fish soup every meal, and, doesn't that suck? And so everyone just slowly gets more and more angry, and it really comes to a head when we see some of the White Cloaks. They are kind of escorting like a merchant who has dozens of sheep kind of in the wagon, and they're just riding the wagon right in front of everybody while they're really hungry, and the food lines are now completely empty. Not many people got food. So we really see this kind of come to a head, which I knew was going to happen eventually. And I talked about it a few times as the season has gone by, is that, the small folk, there's a lot of them, they should definitely rise up and kind of take matters into their own hands. And that's what's happening in this episode, although not the best things happen. We see multiple White Cloaks die. We see a few Godsmen die. We see Alicent get her wrist slashed by somebody. So we'll see how she recovers from that. We see her daughter, I forgot her name, but it's Aegon's wife, King Aegon's wife. She almost gets taken by the hostages. Well, not the hostages, but the small folk. And it's really kind of scary watching that scene, because there's so many times where Alicent and her daughter are about to be taken by this just horde of hungry people, and they're angry, so they're ready to start beating people up, and they do beat some people up. Some of them stab a guard to death, and it's just mayhem. So I really enjoyed seeing that. That was just classic George R. R. Martin sort of big events. And we also see a lot of kind of back and forth with Rhaenyra trying to get people to bond with the dragons. And the first attempt that they do was completely unsuccessful. And I thought that was a little funny that that happened, because I knew it wasn't going to be successful the very first time they tried it, but the dragon seemed like he was about to accept him. So it was just funny to see, the dragon kind of bow its head, ready to get the guy to hop onto the harness, and then at the last second he rears his head up and just burns them all to death. The few dragon keepers, I think they are called. So that was really kind of funny to watch because just the timing of it just made me laugh, and just sort of the arrogance that these characters had, like, oh, it's gonna work the first time, and it doesn't at all. And we also see Rhaenyra slap one of the councilmen, which has been long overdue. I have been wanting some sort of just quick action against these people who have just been undermining her, and it's great to see her kind of take back control in that regard, although I don't think it will last that long. I think he'll uh, forge like a grudge against her and sort of undermine her even more now, but more subtly. So that was really interesting. Another part that I really enjoyed was sort of the final few scenes where we see, I guess, Rhaenyra and Mysaria sort of fall in love, I guess, or at least have a moment of vulnerability where they stop making out, because I did not expect that at all. It feels like a very George R. R. Martin-esque twist, because her husband is missing, I believe. I can't remember who her husband was, which is really bad. But Daemon, I don't think that's her husband. Maybe he is, but he is off doing his own thing right now and having visions of becoming king, and Viserys is, haunting him, telling him, like, oh, this is all you ever wanted, you abandoned me, you should not have the crown, and, all this great stuff. But it was really interesting to see this twist, because I don't think Mysaria has the best interest of Rhaenyra in her mind. I think she's in it for herself. She's very kind of hidden with her agenda, and I'm very curious to see how that turns out. And the episode sort of ends with Rhaenyra getting word that somebody has tamed the dragon that they have been trying to tame. Not really tame, but they're trying to get a dragon rider for this dragon. And she's like, who did it? And she jumps on the dragon and flies off, and the episode ends. So we don't know who this dragon rider is, and I assume it's the son of Corlys, who was on the beach, who was running away from the dragon. I have a feeling that he is the dragon rider, and so that is amazing. I'm really happy for him. I did not want him to get burnt alive by a dragon. He's barely had any story at this point. He's always sort of been on the periphery with everybody else, so I'm really hoping he just becomes a lot more of a major player from here on out, especially if he's now a dragon rider. So that is really, really fun. I really enjoyed this episode. I think it was just a solid 9 out of 10 for me. But I'd also like to mention the scene between Aegon and Daemon, when Daemon sort of dismisses all of the maesters and sort of not really taunts Aegon, but he's kind of like, hey, like, do you remember the battle? And he's like, no, I didn't see you, I don't remember challenging, your dragon, oh, the dragon must have done it himself. So I thought that was really interesting. That was a really great acting performance, too, by Aegon. I did not like the visual of the Maesters taking out the sort of towels that were clogging up his arteries and stuff like that to try and limit the blood loss of Aegon. That was a really nasty scene, but it wasn't as nasty as the previous episodes where we see them kind of peeling back his skin, and I did not like that whatsoever. But yeah, this episode is just amazing. I have no idea where the rest of the story will go. I did see on Audible that Fire and Blood is actually $8 right now on Audible, so I'm actually tempted on buying the book. I heard it's not the best written book at all. A lot of people say they, at least a lot of people who I talk to, they just can't get through it. It's not to the level that, Song of Ice and Fire is, which is really hard to accomplish, but I'm very tempted. The sale ends in like a couple hours, 2 to 4 hours at most. So I gotta make a decision here soon, but I may just not do it because this show is doing everything I want it. So I don't know what else I could get out of the books. Maybe just another book for the 50 book challenge that I have going on my channel right now. But yeah, so I just overall really enjoyed it. Let me know what you guys think. and I would really love to kind of hear what people's predictions are from here on out. I have not read Fire and Blood. It should be pretty obvious at this point that I haven't. So any spoilers for that, please keep that limited. I don't want to know. So thank you all so much for watching, and please let me know what you think of the episode, all that, so on and so forth. Have a good day.